Hey YouTube, here's Heiko. A quick little DIY video out of my garage. Today we're working on some fairings for a 1991, I want to say, Ninja 600R Kawasaki, and I will just show you how I repair plastic parts. I'm going to switch camera around and then show you, okay? Alright guys, so here in front of me on the ground is the chin fairing of is that even the name? Is that even the name for this part? I don't know. The very bottom part of the fairing of a 91. There she is, parked in my messy garage. 91 Ninja 600R. Pretty much everyone who owns an old motorcycle like this knows that those plastic parts over the years, they just get beat up, brittle, little mounting points break off, and so they end up cracking in some places. And then over the years people have developed many different methods of repairing or fixing those fairings. The bikes from the 90s, probably even today, they use a lot of ABS parts, and ABS is a plastic that can be welded. So if you heat this type of plastic, black usually is the color of ABS, if you heat that up, it melts and then it will bond to itself again. So here, this fairing part apparently has had a couple unwanted impacts with hard objects. And the bottom, you can see this long crack goes all the way from the front edge to the rear edge, completely cracked through. And this part is never going to be really pretty unless you repaint it from the outside. But how to fix it structurally is I usually end up using a die grinder. Yeah, I'll show you the tools that I just used. Either die grinder with a little flapper disc on there, or even a burr, and grind off just the surface, the paint. Make sure there's no paint on it anymore. So this is the virgin ABS plastic sticking through. Then I use a super old soldering iron that I pretty much designated to melting plastic these days. Then I line up the crack so I think that it all fits together nicely, and then I just tack weld it. Now let's see if we can see this. So I'm just melting the two sides of the crack back together, and then instead of going around and melting and melting and melting, I'm actually using ABS pipe cement. This stuff used for ABS pipes plumbing is black. It will eventually completely solidify. So you buy one of those, get yourself a acid brush. Do we have a little acid brush? Man, I have so much stuff lying around here. It's crazy. So I always buy like the 100 pack from Amazon because I use those for all kinds of purposes. This is an acid brush. You can use them for grease, for paint, for ABS glue. So I take this applicator out because this is not precise enough, and then use an acid brush and lay on a really nice, even, smooth bead of ABS glue onto this crack. Let it set and harden, and then as long as you don't coat it with paint, you can do that over and over again. So you can build up a little bit of material thickness, and even gap smaller, like cracks that are a little wider here. So in this case, it didn't line up perfectly because the crack has been in this part for a long time, and wasn't the cleanest, and I don't want to spend too much time on this. So all the little cracks that I found, I just cleaned up the paint. Back here as well, there's another one. Clean up the paint, melt it together so it stays in shape, and then I use ABS glue from the inside of the part and put on a nice thick layer of ABS glue, let that set up over a few days, and then this part is as solid as it can be. You can potentially close drilled holes with that, but it takes application. And then after it's hardened, it can actually be sanded. You know, I've used this for all kinds of little repairs over the years. On this bike back here, we've light on. Yeah, we've lights on. One of the fairing parts, was it this side? No, it's the other side. Actually has a crack. Oh yeah, you can see it in the paint ever so slightly. It was broken, and I just built up from the backside with ABS glue. So I ground away the paint from the backside, made sure it's all clean, and then applied the ABS glue. So yeah, the paint still has the crack, but the part is at least structurally sound. And you know, some mounting tabs where those fairings are held on the bike, you can repair sometimes. And this ABS glue, yeah, it completely solidifies. So yeah, that's my quick little DIY. Before you brush on the glue on a repair spot like this, make sure you use some acetone or some brake cleaner. Just make sure you don't have any contaminants on there. And then from the outside, once you want to make this part, once it's repaired and you want to repaint this and make it all pretty, Bondo, actually, is this the right one? Bumper Repair Kit. This is a soft setting black epoxy. It's epoxy that kind of has the consistency of ABS, and it's specifically formulated for bumper repair, so ABS bumper covers on modern cars. I've used this on my wife's car. She had a hole in her bumper. This works just like a Bondo filler. It's just more flexible than regular Bondo. So it goes with the flexibility of ABS plastic, and it will not separate. So if you want to paint this on the outside after you did a repair on one of your fairings, you again do the same thing. Completely remove the paint, leave a nice key on the surface with like 80 grit or whatever, and then use this bumper ABS filler, fill the surface, and you can sand this just like normal Bondo, make it all smooth and paint it, and that's it. And then you don't have any dissimilar materials. Back in the days, they would try to repair those ABS fairings with fiberglass. Fiberglass is much stiffer than ABS, which is relatively flexible, as you can see. So really old bikes like this, for example, this has a couple plastic parts, and those plastic parts, here's a front fender, rear fender, they are actually made of fiberglass. So repairing this would be, you know, a good idea to repair it with this might not be fiberglass. Good question. I don't know. But yeah, so the front fender, the rear fender for sure is fiberglass. It's really stiff. So if that cracks and breaks, then you can of course use fiberglass to repair. But ABS plastic, since it kind of melts together, melts to itself and sticks to itself, and we have this beautiful stuff here at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever hardware store you go to. You can fix this from the inside, make it actually stiffer, more stable in those locations than it was before, and then you can Bondo it with bumper Bondo on the outside and paint it. That's what I would do. That would work, and that's what works for me and has worked in the past. And I'm just going to continue, and maybe I add on a little snippet of video once I have applied some ABS glue to it, so you can see what it looks like. All right, take care. Bye. Here, just a quick look at what it looks like when you have the ABS cement applied. You know, just pile it on thick. Fill all those little voids that you create with your soldering iron, and make a nice broad, you know, spread out bead that gives this whole part more stability. And this glue kind of flows out into you know, kind of an flat surface. Yeah, it's on the inside, you know. It's already a damaged part, so it doesn't need to be pretty on the inside as long as it holds together. And I would recommend to store it outside for curing purposes, or else you might die of brain cancer or whatever. I have a garage door open and fan running, and I will definitely bring it outside now that I've finished the application. Yeah, just weld on. Different can that I showed you earlier. The one I showed you earlier completely dried up. This is weld on 773 ABS cement. And in a couple days this is going to be just as solid as it was when it came out of the factory. Alright, you guys, take care. Bye. If you like this video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.